Where's your data going? Well, it's going to the Electronic Registration Information Center,
Eric.
which keeps track of everybody's voter everything, all of your stuff.
Are you sharing this tab?
Yeah,
All right, there it is.
showing this tab.
Good.
Goes into Eric. Okay. What's Eric? That sounds friendly. Gosh, Eric seems like a nice guy.
Yeah. Until he becomes AI.
Then all of your voting data gets sucked into Eric. You never volunteered for this. You never authorized this. You never signed anything that says they can take your data. But there it is in Eric. Well, what's the big deal? All right. Let's have a little poke at that. Let's start with states using Eric in June of 2019. Well, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and the District of Columbia, which is not actually a state.
No.
Now,
is that virtually every state in the union?
It is quite a few. We'll count them on the way back down here because Texas, New Jersey, and you can see the gaps here. Massachusetts added themselves in 2022. Alabama actually withdrew. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, Nevada. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 gives us what? That's called
two-thirds
plurality.
Yes.
That's the majority of the states are using this ERIC system, which means your information.
You have no idea where that shit's going.
Is being pulled into this system and being used by each of your states. But what's going on here, though? Let's have a look. Operational costs. What do you mean operational costs? One-time joining fee per state, $25,000. Gosh, somebody's getting a nice chunk of money.
Yep.
2021 financial report. Annual membership fees per year between 26,000 and 116,000 times 33.
So now you're paying to get your anus stretched.
Well, the states don't have money. Where do they get money from?
They get it from the taxpayers.
Oh, so the taxpayers are giving it to this ERIC organization
that we never voted for, we know nothing of,
that we don't know anything about.
And I can almost guarantee you this was all put in place by a bureaucrat who was appointed, not elected.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
It's on the map.
Yeah.
Reports generated by ERIC. What's ERIC doing? Let's have a look into what ERIC is doing. Voters who have moved within their state, voters who have moved out of the state, voters who have died. Duplicate registrations in the same state. Well, gosh, I was told that never happens.
Yes.
Individuals who are appointed or who are potentially eligible to vote, but have not yet registered. Voters who appear to have voted twice within the state. I was told that never happens as well.
Yes.
Voters who voted in more than one state. You're not supposed to do that. Voters who voted on behalf of a deceased voter. Also illegal that I know of.
And what can you do with all of that information?
Well,
you can build a second database, a ghost database that you can manipulate stuff with because it's all electronic now.
Remember what we said about how many people vote?
Yes. 37% is a good year.
Good turnout.
Yes.
50% is raw. We're trying.
The minute you go over that, it's questionable.
Well, where would you get all of the data to make all of those additional votes? Could it possibly come out of a system like ERIC here?
Yes, it could.
Couldn't it? Contact information. November 2, 2019 address, Electronic Registration Information Center, 1155 F Street, Northwest Suite 1050, Washington, D.C. There's their phone. There's their email address. You can ask them. They're an organization that handles all of your public data.
Mm-hmm.
After all, you should look at this data here and give them a call or email them and ask them Why is my voter data going into your private organization called Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Now, February 2023 address was on Connecticut Avenue.
Now,
Now,
did you or did you not send people there to find out that there's no office there?
I may or may not know of individuals who happen to live in the area that may have passed by that area and noted that the office was, in fact, an abandoned suite.
Correct. That doesn't sound fishy at all.
There's nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they all then? Where are they all? Okay, here's Eric. Eric looks nice. Eric looks friendly. Let's take a look at how big Eric really is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's back it out. And it's not even, there it is. That's the whole goddamn thing right there.
Are you getting the idea?
Yeah.
Here's Eric over here, this little guy over here on the right.
All right. So you got the Eric, then you have the states stacked on top of it that are pouring their data into Eric.
Then there's the green operational costs.
Yes.
Then the yellow reports that are being generated, and then their addresses right below that. Let's have a look at some of the other stuff. Now, this Eric thing, it's got to have a board. Somebody's got to be in charge of all of this.
Yes. Let's get to that.
Let's get to that. I'm going the wrong way.
Just do the 23-24 board. We don't have to do the 2021.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Here's Eric over here. Now we go to the 23-24 Privacy and Technology Advisory Board.
You might want to make it a little bigger.
I will make it a little bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Jimmy, you're on fire, bro.
And I said, I've already had 6 shots of whiskey, baby. It ain't getting bigger than that.
What you see is what you get.
All right. So, Director, Michigan Bureau of Electronics, Jonathan Brader. He's the chairman.
Michigan Bureau of Elections. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the guy that is facing all of the lawsuits, coincidentally.
Wow.
Mandy Grandjean, immediate past chair, deputy or assistant secretary of state and director of elections, Ohio. Missouri, elections division. Minnesota, director of elections. Iowa, director of elections. Pennsylvania, deputy secretary of elections and commissions. Georgia, director of elections, vacant. Alabama currently because they pulled out. Director, Alaska division of elections. Are you getting the idea what's going on here?
Yes.
There's a position called director of elections or something similar in every state.
Yes.
That I don't recall ever voting for.
Or they're obviously appointed.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. We don't fucking need this. Every state has the ability to count their own goddamn ballots without having all of this crazy wizardry that's obviously, in my opinion, corrupted 3 ways to fucking Sunday. The whole thing is being run by a bunch of commie-crats, in my opinion, that have no business with your data and making decisions who will and who will not run this fucking country. It's up to the goddamn people. I am on a rant. You got me there. You got me. I love how you just sit back there and you're like, I did it. I pushed Pop over the edge. There he went. He pulled out the knife hand, fucking started yelling. Oh, there you go. Son of a bitch. All right.
Yeah. Of course, the dwarf lets me rant in front of the camera. Yeah.
I hate you. No, I love you, brother.
God, I love that. So, by the way, Eric collects all of your data. Okay. Member supplied voter registration data, the members being the individual states.
Hey, check this out, though.
Wait a minute.
Right below there. Look at that thing.
I'm going to blew this up a little bit.
Why is Zuckerberg?
You're getting ahead of the game.
I'm sorry. I saw that name.
You're getting ahead of the game. Data collected. We're here on toward the center, the right hand, this little red box here. Member supplied voter registration data. That's the member states supplying all of your voter registration data that you submit. Did you authorize that? Did you say, yes, you can put my data in this Eric database?
No.
We don't even know where that's going yet. We're about to find out, though. member supplied motor vehicle registration data.
Wow.
What are they doing with your motor vehicle registration data?
Yeah. Like, why the fuck is this private organization collecting your
I don't
driver's license?
recall authorizing this.
No, I did. Yeah.
I don't recall authorizing this at all. Now, member states must send this data every 60 days. So they didn't just give them
once
your data. They are giving Eric your data
and updating it every 60 days. Can anyone say bullshit? That's exactly what this is. Yeah, throw the flag on that. That's exactly what that is. That is some serious fucking bullshit right there.
So, data collected, registration data, motor vehicle registration data, must send every 60 days. Generates eligible but unregistered lists.
Why would you generate lists
of eligible but unregistered voters?
Yes. Why would you do that? Maybe because you want to, I don't know, have 110% turnout. Because that's how you get 110% turnout.
Do you want Adolf? Because this is how you get Adolf.
This is going to lead to Adolf.
So this info is shared with CEIR.
I mean, do you have any idea what's going to happen if we have 15
if
to 20?
Everybody realizes this?
No, well, hang on. Say this goes dynamic and we have 15 to 20 million fucking casualties. Everyone on this list is going to wind up on a wanted poster.
Yes.
And the person printing the wanted posters is going to be equivalent to Adolf.
Yeah.
And it is going to be ugly. I do not want that to happen. Yeah. We need to shut this shit down.
Here's the real problem. If we don't do this from the township, county to state level, the way that I've been describing, where you actually get off your ass and you get involved in this stuff and you participate in this and send Pop request, Pop can send it to me. I can get you connected with my state, the people that are doing this here in my state, and we can export the model, because what happens next is ugly and nobody ever talks about this part. If this goes full kinetic and these people, like Pop said, end up on a wanted poster, what's going to happen is you're going to have people that take this too far.
Yes.
And those people will not just go after Jonathan Brader or Mandy Green Jean.
They'll go after everyone.
They'll go after everybody in their family.
Yes.
And guess what? That's not war at that point. Now you're just a fucking monster.
Yeah. And listen, I am not for that at all.
Yeah.
All right. And I can, half these people probably are oblivious to the fact that this is an overarching fucking plot to take over this country.
Most people don't have any clue.
Yeah, most of them are like, oh, I got put on a board. I got to go twice a month.
Okay, this data goes, I just push this button.
Yeah, nobody asks questions. Why am I sending this data? Have these people authorized for me to sell their data to this private group?
Bureaucrats don't think like that.
No, they don't.
They think, okay, I have a piece of paper. It goes over here.
Yeah, and I want to get paid at the end of the month, so I have to
keep my position.
Yeah.
So, like Pop said, with the wanted poster thing, what happens next is the real ugliness ensues. Going through the township to county to state model is the way to prevent that, because then in an organized and orderly manner, those people found responsible and tried in a reasonable court of law by a jury of their peers,
yes,
can be arrested and dealt with in a proper manner.
Correct.
Rather than 500 angry people with machetes breaking into some poor family's house.
Yeah, I do not want to see mob justice.
No mob justice.
I've seen that in Iraq. It is fucking brutal.
Yeah, it's one of the most awful things you can possibly see.
No. There was a couple times, like they're literally, because I was NCOIC of security for all of Abu Ghraib, and I was responsible, I think, out to a mile and a half away from the walls.
Yeah,
and I'd always get called into these meetings because people were showing up on the street with all of their joints drilled out, fingers broken, and then they're executed. And they're like, hey, this is terrible. What can you do about it? And I'm like, I'm telling you what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to do fuck all, because I'm not risking American lives to deal with a grudge because guess what?
That's how they do things there. That's
But
how
no,
they've done
no,
it for
that
5,000
happens
years.
in the beginning of every civil war.
Yes.
In the beginning of every civil war, the first 3 to 6 months is just a huge grudge match of people getting even with other people. It happened in the Revolutionary War. It happened during our Civil War. And you could go back through history and read about it. I mean, it happens like the Spanish Civil War.
There are whole books where farmers who had neighbor farmers that they were jealous of or didn't like used the Union Confederate excuse to go over and slaughter that family.
Correct.
And take their land.
Yeah. And I don't want to see that at all.
I don't want to see any of that.
Yeah.
I don't. It's mob justice is off. I've seen a couple of examples of it. As we were talking about it, my brain is ticking through I only saw a handful of these things, and I'm basically like tearing up because I remember it was fucking awful and I felt horrible for these people.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do.
And here's the thing. They patiently did this over the past 3 decades.
Correct.
Now we know it's happening. We can take it back. We just have to we have to be willing to show up, willing to fill out the paperwork, run for office, ask questions, get in the fucking way, cause fucking mayhem, because I can guarantee you, if 10,000 people show up at each county in every fucking state and starts filing lawsuits about this shit, it will go away. They can't afford it.
Here's where it gets interesting. This generates eligible but unregistered EBU lists.
I'm starting to get a headache, man. This is really...
We're close to the end here, man. We're close to the end. Take a breath.
All right.
Info shared with CEIR. What is CEIR? Why, that is the Center for Election Innovation and Research.
And I've never heard of this before.
I've never heard of this before either. It spearheaded the ERIC program until 2016, and it continued running ERIC meetings through 2020. It is probably continuing to run it now today, but under a different name or through an umbrella or shell corporation of some kind. Now, David Becker is the director of the elections program. Who is he? Oh, he runs the Pew Charitable Trusts out of Colorado, Maryland, Nevada, Utah, Virginia.
There's
that was
the money.
Founded in 2012. But let's look up at CEIR real fast.
Okay.
The Department of Justice Civil Rights Attorney has a voting section with them. CBS election law expert, the media branch, CBS.
Yeah. Why are they there?
I don't know.
First, I also want to ask a question. Why is there a yellow dot on some of these boxes?
Because in the real map that we created, each of those yellow dots leads to a string of sources.
Okay.
All of this is pulled from what we call OSINT, open source intelligence.
Well, first of all,
everything.
The people who built this list used to do this for alphabet agencies. So this is the equivalent of this
is an NSA level dig.
Yeah, this is NSA level dig right here.
And a lot of these, we found your corporate records. We found all of your stuff. I know where to find all of that shit open source.
Yeah.
And I know how to backtrace it. And I know how to trace it to the Caymans. And I know how to trace it to the Seychelles. And I know how to trace it to Switzerland and all of those other places, because that's what I did for a fucking living. I hunted North Koreans.
See, his weapon is in his head. Mine was in my hands.
Yeah. So all you shitbirds out there that think you're funny, there's people like me out there who know how to do this legally. This is all open source material. I can print page after page of this off of publicly available sites and connect the dots because I know what I'm doing.
In other words, do not piss off the battle dwarf.
Well, first of all, I mean,
I'm a benevolent battle.
How many millions of dollars did the government dump in?
$2.1 million
just
per 98.
Just to get you ready to do the job.
That was just to get ready to do the job. And then your first assignment is always a shit battalion.
Yes.
Where you end up supporting LURS with radios for a year.
That's fine. But yeah, I like LURS actually. But anyway, the amount of time you spent doing this for real.
Yeah. 6.5 years.
Yeah. Listen, that's a lot of time and money invested into your ability. And so I know some of the guys that helped you with this or put this together probably have a couple decades and retired.
There's one guy who's retired and he drives combines in one of the flyover states.
Good for him.
And nobody knows he's there. He just drives combines all day. and he will absolutely fuck your world if you get anywhere near him. That's the
and you piss him off.
Remember when we broke all the Anafa nets?
Yeah.
During the actual elections thing, during January 6th, we were in the Anafa nets and listening to all of their transmissions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's Mr. Combine Driver.
Yeah, I myself didn't have access to those comms. I just had the standard radio.
Sorry.
It's fine. Because I was that guy in the outer cordon.
You were third ring.
I was dealing directly with Antifa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were on top of them. We had all their comms.
Yeah.
We had all of their comms.
You should have seen it when I walked up on those 5 guys. I'm like, you guys can leave now. And they're like, what are you talking about? We're here for the rally. I go, you listen, you're Antifa. You know you're Antifa, and I know you're Antifa. And
they probably thought you were Fed.
Yeah. And I'm like, if I key this radio, there's going to be 18 guys here. Probably with axe handles and other weapons. It's not going to go well for you. So just leave. Well, because they were jumping people when they would leave the rally.
Yes.
They were jumping
I
people.
know. We had to issue several warnings. We had to issue a whole bunch of warnos on that. They were attacking people at night, especially.
Yeah, and I would have none of that.
Yeah, I've got a whole stack of warnos for that.
Listen, I don't have a problem if you want to be on the other side and hold up signs and yell at me and insult
Protest.
me. That's fine.
The minute you take a swing, you're fair game.
That's right.
Period.
I don't have a problem. You want to talk bad about my mama? We'll be north of the Omama line probably, so it's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
You can swear, call me whatever you want. I don't care.
So here's the thing. This CEIR, where does this go? CBS election.
And they're getting $70 million to CEIR from Chan Zuckerberg Initiative.
Chan Zuckerberg, who is Mark Zuckerberg's Chinese wife, and Facebook, and there's Mark Zuckerberg himself.
Yes.
But People for the American Way is a known Bolshevik organization. They're part of they are Right Wing Watch, and it's founded through the Tides Foundation, who is George Soros.
Mm-hmm.
This is comic book villainy.
Yeah.
Running your election. All of your election data and your voter registration data that you never said they could take is being fed to these organizations. Here's all of the diagrams. And see all those yellow dots?
Mm-hmm.
It's all confirmed.
And I can almost guarantee you that all of our election data is already in the hands of communist China. I know they have it.
Pull that map up, but we don't have time.
We don't have time for that. That'll have to be another one. I have another map.
Of course he does.
Actually, I have 5 other maps. We'll have to do shows on.
I have 5 other maps.
Yep.
This is the one that matters for this show here. All of your election data and your vehicle registration data is fed to the Center for Election Innovation and Research, which is the Tides Foundation. And what they're giving them is eligible but unregistered voter lists.
And the only reason you need that is to make sure 100 and some odd % show up to election.
I can provide this map, and you might want to write your Secretary of State and file a lawsuit.
Yep.
Yes.
And if we
this one, I don't think you'll have to email this to me there, Steve, so I can get that updated to the sources for this one.
Yes.
Don't worry.
We'll get it to you. Yeah.
Anyway,
this needs to be in every U.S. citizen's email box with a 3-paragraph letter explaining exactly what's going on.
The important part is your data collected from your registration, your voter registration, and your motor vehicle registration data is being used to produce eligible but unregistered voter lists, which are being provided directly to the Tides Foundation through the Center for Election Innovation and Research. And it is all being funded by the Pew Charitable Trust and the Tides Foundation.
And I don't ever remember voting for any of this shit. I don't remember any of our representatives talking about setting this up. This is the smoke and mirrors behind the dictator in chief and all of the commie Democrat sons of bitches, in my opinion, who've been elected in the past 6 years. Because if they were able to get away with it in 2020, which they did, do you really think they're going to stop? Do you think they're going to stop?
They're not going to stop.
No.
It's already here, 23, 24 board members. Look, I haven't even gone over this whole map yet. And like I said, I have 5 other maps, okay?
I got you.
Look, township, county, state. We're doing it here in the state of Michigan. There are efforts in other states as well. I don't have enough details there. I'm not going to give you what they're doing because I can't recite it off the top of my head like I can here in Michigan. Get your voter registration data. I bet you
It's been
I would
tampered
say
with.
70% of you, it's been tampered with.
It's been tampered with
Now-
harder than a trans asshole.
Ow.
Allegedly.
Inverted windsock vagina?
Yes. Inverted windsock vagina.
The old wizard sleeve.
The wizard. Yeah.
Yeah. My first comedy routine, I talked about that. It was for my ex.
This is serious. This
This
is
is
how
serious
you can
shit.
affect these elections. Like Pop and I said multiple times, we want to avoid the mob violence because if this gets out in a way that it starts kinetic shit, the mob violence will happen. And I have no interest in that happening on American soil.
I mean, I can almost
No.
guarantee you, everyone on the corporate boards for the media is going to wind up on the list.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of teachers from kindergarten all the way up to college. They're going to wind up on lists. And most of them are just stupid.
Yes, that is correct.
They're just stupid.
Yes, and their families don't deserve to be punished in their stead or alongside them.
No, I don't want to see any. Listen, I'm an asshole, but I'm not that much of an evil asshole.
I am a courtroom and jury asshole.
Yes.
I will asshole you all day long in a courtroom with a jury. I have no interest in the other stuff.
Yeah,
Phrasing.
Yeah.
Phrasing, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You're right, Jimmy. That was close, wasn't it?
that was pretty close to phrasing, man.
Fine, man.
Brush right up against that.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.